A few weeks ago, I was at my favorite local media store on one of my classic DVD hunts, and I came across this $3 copy of the original Child's Play film. I did recognize this film to be the first Chucky movie, even though I have never seen it before, but at only $3, I thought, why not? Yeah, I've got $3 to spend. I'm kind of a rich guy. I've got Couple nights later, I needed a movie to watch to fall asleep to, and I kind of landed on Child's Play on a whim, put it in my Xbox, and the rest was history. Just a couple weeks later, and I am neck deep into my Chucky era. I now have all the movies on DVD and am even collecting, or I guess you could maybe even say hoarding, the NECA Chucky action figures. So here's a video where I'll briefly talk about and rank each of the Chucky movies. And before we get started, just know that these are my personal opinions. This is not any sort of factual list, so don't come at me in the comments when one of your favorite movies is ranked very low on my list and one of your least favorite movies is ranked very high. Because, spoiler alert, that's probably going to happen in this ranking. If you go on to enjoy this video, why not leave a like and hit that subscribe button, as it does really help me out. And if you want to get nuts, why not hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything I do. Let me know your Chucky rankings down below, and without further ado, Chucky ranked.
Sorry, Jack. Chucky's back.
Chucky's gonna be broke.
Child's Play 3. Look who's stalking.
In 8th place, I have Child's Play 3, the lackluster and obviously rushed follow-up to Child's Play 2 that came out only 9 months afterwards. The film follows Andy Barclay, the original kid from the first two movies, only aged up and recast to be a delinquent teenager who ends up in military school after failing out of the foster care system. At the same time, Chucky is reborn after the mess he made in Child's Play 2 is cleaned up a little bit late, 8 years afterwards. Now, Chucky is after a new body, that of Tyler, a young-ish kid at the same military school as Andy. Let me just start off by saying that I did enjoy every single one of the Child's Play movies, so even Child's Play 3 being at the bottom of my list doesn't mean I disliked this film. I thought it was okay to good. But compared to the others, Child's Play 3 did the least for me. Its biggest problem is that it's formulaic and underbaked. The film was really rushed, and creator/writer Don Mancini was forced to write this script even before Child's Play 2 had come out in theaters. Andy is, he's Andy. We like him just because we liked him in the first two movies, but it's a different actor, like I said, and he doesn't really get a chance to show a lot of personality, especially since he's in this military school where personality is kind of taken away from kids. The other characters aren't great either. We have Little Kid, Wimpy Nerd, Mean Sergeant, and Girl. Of the four, my favorite was Girl, otherwise known as Da Silva. She's at least got a little bit of that spunk that we're told Andy is supposed to have. Little Kid, or Tyler as he's called in the movie, is a strange case of a character. He's the new vessel for Chucky's torment, like Andy was in the first film, but is much less convincing than Andy was in that movie. He's not at a believable age to get completely enamored with the good guy commercial he sees on TV. I mean, the kid's like 8 or 9 years old. So then when he's going around saying, Chucky says this, Chucky did that, and nobody believes him or even questions it, it's a little unbelievable. Wimpy Nerd is a totally pointless character. He's a wimpy nerd. That's it. He sees about halfway through the movie that Chucky is alive, and he doesn't say anything to anybody about it because I guess he's a wimp, so he's not going to say anything. I guess he redeems himself as a character when he jumps on a grenade and explodes, which was a pretty cool death scene. Lastly, we have Mean Commanding Officer, who's also known as, Colonel Lieutenant Shelton. He's kind of a jerk. He's a character we've seen in movies before, but he is hateable in the way that he's supposed to be. I think the actor did a good job. He's got a weird voice too. It's very spitty. He's very like mad and spitty. The actor was good. And he gets a pretty decent death. He gets shot. Aside from the characters, there's the plot, which is pretty standard, pretty unoriginal, like I said. It's basically a mix of Andy doing some pretty generic stuff in military school and Chucky doing his usual killing in search of a boy's soul, right? A lot of his kills are pretty dark in this movie. He's very mean in this movie, but I really enjoyed it. It's kind of that classic Chucky. He looks a lot like he does here on this shirt, although these are mostly pictures from Child's Play 2. He still has this same design in Child's Play 3. But anyways, that was Child's Play 3. It is my number 8.
Seed of Chucky.
2004's Seed of Chucky is up next at number 7, and wow, what a difference between this film and Child's Play 3. While the last movie was a little formulaic and unoriginal, Seed of Chucky is almost too original and definitely too bizarre. At the end of the 4th film in the series, Bride of Chucky, we see a little sting at the end of the spawn of Chucky coming out of the Bride of Chucky herself, Tiffany. This created suspense for the sequel. Of course, we want to see Chucky's kid be, some kind of killer doll kid. Sadly, events in the real world changed the trajectory of this film, and Don Mancini went in a different direction. When we finally meet the offspring of Tiffany and Chucky, we meet a character called Shitface. They have been held captive by this British ventriloquist for the last couple of years. Eventually, this character does reunite with their parents, Chucky and Tiffany, and largely remains a genderless character, although mainly goes by Glenn throughout the film. Sometimes also goes by Glenda. Overall, I don't know how to feel about the Glenn character, the Glenn/Glenda character. They kind of scare me in that they've got this British voice. They're voiced by Billy Boyd, who you might know as Pippin from Lord of the Rings, but also they're green. Why are they green?
What is wrong with you? Why are you
green? I don't know. Chucky isn't green. Tiffany isn't green. But why is they green? Glenn's a little bit of a freak, but I like them enough to be praying to NECA that they release a Glenn figure soon. Oh, NECA! Oh, NECA, please bring me the Glenn. Please make Glenn from Chucky as a figure, and even Glenda. Glenn doesn't like violence, which leads their parents, Chucky and Tiffany, to say, all right, we're going to stop killing.
I like a little killing now and then. What's wrong with that?
Killing is an addiction like any other drug.
We're not going to kill anymore. Chucky doesn't really take this seriously, but Tiffany does. She kind of does the 12 Steps program, but with an addiction to killing. And it was pretty funny. I liked it as a concept, and I think they did a good job with it. It was probably my favorite story element of the film. While Tiffany is trying to quit killing, Chucky is killing in secret, trying to turn Glenn into a manly man who kills people. That element is a little bit too played up. It's maybe too obvious. I don't know. The rest of the plot it's pretty rough, I'll say. They do kind of the movie within a movie thing that a lot of movies were doing back then. Wes Craven's New Nightmare and Wes Craven's Scream 3, which only came out a few years before this movie. The main goal of Chucky and Tiffany is to take over new bodies, which they somehow have the ability to do after a pretty ridiculous retcon in Bride of Chucky, which I'll talk about later, and become a real-life human family. The people they choose to take over are real-life rapper and I guess director in this movie, Redman, and the real-life Jennifer Tilly, who of course does the voice and played the live-action version of Tiffany in Bride of Chucky. This leads to some pretty meta moments of Jennifer Tilly playing an over-the-top version of herself, the character of Redman, is possibly the most annoying character in this entire series. Actually, not even possibly, he definitely is. Just every second. It's just awful.
I kind of remember you screaming a lot.
Oh, yeah, I seem to remember that too.
Yeah, I tend to have that effect on women.
That effect on women.
He's playing himself about to direct some kind of movie about the Virgin Mary and wants to cast Jennifer Tilly in the role. It's funny because she's supposed to be slutty and she's playing the Virgin Mary. Oh. Redman, of course, wants to have sex with her, and every scene of them together is as embarrassing as it possibly could be, and I just wanted to leave the room. Thankfully, he is disemboweled by a relapsing Tiffany. She just slipped. Once he's out of the picture, the movie stays weird and campy and fun, and I did enjoy watching it, especially the last 20 minutes or so, which I thought were pretty entertaining. The character of Glenn/Glenda is strange and confusing at times, but there's enough to talk about there that I've kept replaying moments of this movie in my head. And I definitely enjoyed it. I enjoyed it in kind of a scientific way almost. Well, that was Seed of Chucky, and it was my number 7.
Chucky really gets lucky.
Will you be my bride?
Oh, Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
Well, this might come as a shock to a lot of the Chucky heads out there, but my number 6 pick is in fact Bride of Chucky. It's really not one of my favorites in the series. It has grown on me over the last couple of weeks, but it doesn't hit me the way that all of the subsequent films in this ranking did. Bride of Chucky, of course, introduces fan favorite character Tiffany, played by Jennifer Tilly, and I agree she's one of my favorite characters in this series too. She was an ex-girlfriend / kind of fiance to Charles Lee Ray, who of course is the serial killer inside the Chucky doll, and she wants to resurrect him after the events of Child's Play 3. Once he's back, he's immediately an asshole to her, which causes her to put him in a crate, which then causes him to kill her and transfer her soul into a bride doll. Once Tiffany is a doll, her and Chucky go on a road trip to try to get to Charles Lee Ray's grave, where apparently there is an amulet on Charles Lee Ray's dead body that will grant Chucky and Tiffany to transfer their souls into the body of whoever. I've learned to accept that the rules of this universe are very loose. The 2 new bodies that Chucky and Tiffany are trying to possess lead me to my biggest problem with the movie, which is the 2 lead human characters in the movie, Katherine Heigl, who I've heard of, and her boyfriend, I don't remember the guy's name. And they have almost no personality. They're so stock. I did have a gay best friend character who was kind of funny. He did explode by a car, which I enjoyed. Anyways, the 2 lead human characters are tasked with taking Chucky and Tiffany on this road trip to Charles Lee Ray's grave, and are simultaneously being accused of a string of murders that Chucky and Tiffany are committing. That as a concept is pretty cool, and it does start, pretty interesting, but eventually it just kind of fizzles out. The plot doesn't really go anywhere. That's a problem with a lot of the movies in this series, though. They do kind of end abruptly sometimes. There are some really great kills in this movie, and it is pretty funny. Like I said, I like Tiffany a lot as a character. One thing I really didn't like was the opening scene where we see the evidence locker that has the cut up parts of Chucky in it. We see the mask of Jason, Michael Myers, and we might even see Freddy Claus. I thought that was too on the nose. I just didn't like it. It's not for me. This movie is pretty close to being tied with Seed of Chucky for me, but since Redman isn't in it, it's immediately leagues above Seed of Chucky. All right, now we're getting into the films that I would say are at least 7 out of 10 movies. Child's Play 2019 is a remake of Child's Play 1988, and I didn't know why it existed. It was the last of the Chucky movies that I watched, and it has next to nothing to do with the original series, other than it includes a red-haired killer doll named Chucky. Well, I did some research, and its reason for existing is about as cash grabby could be. Aside from that shady corporate junk, this movie kinda rocks. I think almost everything about it worked, and it had some great kills and some great laughs, including when Chucky said,
This is for Tupac.
The cast is all pretty great, with Mark Hamill playing a pretty cool different version of Chucky. This version of the killer doll is an Alexa-esque AI doll that integrates with smart devices. I thought that was clever, original, and even realistic. This movie also came out 7 years ago, so well before AI is what it is today, making it ahead of its time. This AI version of Chucky is just defective, not housing the soul of a serial killer within him, and is just murderous based on some purposely bad coding. I like that they go in such a different direction with Chucky. It makes it feel less like a remake and more of a reimagining. The rest of the cast is great, with the new kid playing Andy, Gabriel Bateman, being really good, Aubrey Plaza being Aubrey Plaza, which I'm a big fan of her, so she's great in this movie too. And Brian Tyree Henry being pretty awesome, as he is in everything I've ever seen with him, which I think was only one movie, Bullet Train, but I liked him in that a lot. That's one of my favorite movies, and I liked him in this one too. I only wish that it was somehow connected to the mainline Chucky universe. I would love to watch Chucky defeat this AI imposter. While we'll likely never see this version of Chucky again, Child's Play 2019 is a worthy remake and a pretty good addition to this series. It's a ton of fun, and I strongly recommend it.
Chucky's my friend till the end. Hey, wanna play?
At number 4, we have Curse of Chucky, which was such a breath of fresh air during my watch of the series, where I had just watched Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, which are more comedic, less serious films, and then Curse of Chucky, which really brought back the horror elements of the original films. The movie takes itself mostly seriously, but is not really scary, and also still hilarious, but in a different way than how Bride and Seed were really trying to be funny. Here we meet a brand new cast of characters led by Nika, played by Chucky actor Brad Dourif's real-life daughter Fiona Dourif. Almost all of these characters are one-dimensional, aside from Nika, but they are so much more interesting than the characters we've seen in the last 3 films. The movie's got twists, turns, suspense, and some really great kills, and some really funny lines from Chucky.
Women can't live with them, period.
I'm sure some people aren't a fan of how long it takes to see Chucky in the movie, but personally I thought it worked. It really kept that suspense building. You may be asking yourself, why was Chucky killing these people? They're not even Andy. Why is he there? Well, it turns out that Nika's mom was actually a victim of Charles Lee Ray, and was part of the reason that the cops tracked him down in the first Child's Play film. In his initial attack on Nika's mom, Charles Lee Ray stabbed her pregnant belly, which left Nika to be paralyzed in the first place. Little twists like that just feel so thought out and make Curse of Chucky one of the most underrated films in the series, and really one of the best films in the series in my opinion. That's why I have it at number 4.
There's nothing innocent about Child's Play.
The original Child's Play, of course, is the film that began my Chucky era. When I found it on DVD again for only $3, I was mildly curious to watch it, and when I put it in to fall asleep, I did not fall asleep, and instead I stayed awake and watched this amazing horror film that really isn't scary, but was a lot of fun to watch. It took me like a couple weeks to find Child's Play 2 on DVD, because I like to find most of my DVDs in person. I forgot to mention this in the video, but thank you to Ronnie, or Ronster Balmer, for hooking me up with that copy of Child's Play 2. I could not have entered my Chucky era without you, so thank you very much. But before we talk about Chucky, I gotta start by talking about Andy. Andy Barclay, played by Alex Vincent. He made every second of this movie work. Without him being as likable as he is, the movie doesn't really work as well. So it's really important that Andy is as good as he is. For a 6-year-old, he did a great job in this movie. We're watching this kid get accused of murder and have to go through all kinds of awful things. They put him in what I guess is an insane asylum, thinking that he's killed his babysitter and then some random guy who I guess is supposed to be the partner of Charles Lee Ray. Serial killers don't really have partners usually. We just want to see him succeed. We want to see him get to live his little life. His performance just really holds the movie together, as well as the performances from Catherine Hicks, who plays Karen, Andy's mom, and Chris Sarandon, who plays the detective character. I don't remember the detective's name. He's the detective that both kills Charles Lee Ray at the beginning of the film. He also follows the murders following Charles Lee Ray's death, the Chucky murders themselves. I wish both of them had actually come back to the series. It takes a long time, but eventually Karen believes her son Andy that Chucky is a killer doll, and the reveal to her and to us as an audience for the first time that Chucky is truly alive is one of the funniest scenes that I've ever seen, and is probably the real point where my Chucky era officially began.
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
I wish he had a little bit more screen time in this movie, but what we do get is really awesome. He's got a weird design here, which I kind of like. I heard he was based on Jack Nicholson, and that excites me. I love Jack. This movie is great, but there are 2 movies in the series I prefer to this one. However, if you've never seen a Chucky movie, I highly recommend starting with Child's Play, the original Child's Play, and then working your way through the series. But this is a fantastic start. That's why it is my number 3. The last of the real Chucky movies, of course excluding Child's Play 2019, Cult of Chucky is a completely bonkers film from 2017. We follow up on the cliffhanger ending of Curse of Chucky, where Nika is wrongfully accused and then convicted of committing the murders that, of course, were actually committed by Chucky. She has now been sentenced to serve time in a mental health facility. Here we get to meet a lot of cool kind of, unique characters, kind of similar to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in a way, which is fun because Brad Dourif, who plays Chucky, of course, starred in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with the previously mentioned Jack Nicholson. At this mental health facility, Chucky arrives not once, not twice, but in 3 separate bodies, having split his soul into multiple good guy dolls. And he's here to wreak havoc on Nika and on pretty much all of the other patients. Why? I don't really know, but it's a pretty awesome premise. Then there's this movie also brings back the original Andy actor in full effect after he appeared in a post-credit scene in Curse of Chucky. He's become some kind of Chucky doomsday prep guy, and it's pretty hilarious. I only wish there was a little bit more of him in this movie. That brings me to my only real problem with the movie in general, is that I wanted more of it, especially with the ending. Similar to Bride of Chucky, I paused the movie to go to the bathroom thinking the 3rd act was just getting started, only to realize there were only 8 minutes left, including the credits. The movie ends on a crazy cliffhanger with Nika possessed by Chucky, and that isn't resolved until it's a subplot in the Chucky TV series. The movie itself is still awesome, but the way it ends leaves a little bit to be desired. The cliffhanger ending isn't the end of the world for me with this movie, but I wish we had just a little bit more falling action to accompany it. I had so many questions that went largely unanswered until pretty deep into the TV series. Still, Cult of Chucky is original and hilarious and one of the best Chucky movies, easily. I had so much fun with it that even the lackluster ending doesn't really take away too much from it at all. This makes it a solid number 2 pick. And the number 1 Chucky movie.
How's it hanging, Phil?
Child's Play 2. Well, yeah, of course, number 1 is Child's Play 2. It's just the best one. I think we all know that. If you know Chucky movies, you know that Child's Play 2 is the best one. It's the general consensus. Usually I try to veer away from general consensus, but sometimes it's correct. I know some people say Bride of Chucky is the best Chucky movie. Some people even say Child's Play 1. I've seen that for sure, but most people are in agreement that Child's Play 2 is the best. This movie is one of the best slashers and even one of the best horror movies I have ever seen. Child's Play 2 takes what worked in the first film and improves on it by about 1,000%. Chucky is funnier, has better effects, better kills, more screen time. Andy is now kind of a badass and has a new foster family who all work perfectly in their respective roles. Especially Andy's new foster sister, Kyle, who is a great character and addition to this universe. The cinematography and color palette are awesome. Usually I don't pay too much attention to the cinematography in these movies, but the way this movie is shot, I just loved it. The script is tight and is the only one where the voodoo rules actually make any sense. Here, Chucky has to move into Andy's body by a certain point, or else he stays a doll forever. It's simple and it works. The finale in the toy factory is insane and incredible. It's exactly where you want a movie like this to end. The movie's about a killer doll. All right, let's have it end at the factory that they made the doll. You get some really awesome scenes here, some great kills. Chucky's ending, like the death of Chucky in this movie, is the best one of them all. If you haven't seen this movie, seek it out and watch it immediately. Well, only after you've watched Child's Play 1, of course. I think you will love it. But if you have seen this movie, you already love it, so why would I sit here and try to convince you to love it when you already do? Well, that's my ranking and reviews of each of the Chucky movies. This video was a little bit more intensive than I thought it would be. Thought it'd be kind of an easy in-between video to make in between my last video and whatever my next video will be. But no, this is longer than I thought it'd be. So it'll be fun to edit over the next week or two, and then it'll come out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, why not leave a like and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get nuts, why not hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on everything that I do. Let me know down below your rankings for the Chucky series and also any other horror film franchises I should take a look at for the channel. This has been Jack Roney, the movie guy, signing off.